The first day nobody would ever forget. Some days begin like any other. A quiet morning, a simple breakfast, a walk down a familiar road. But by the time the sun sets, those days become memories that stay with us forever. For Emily, that day was her very first day of school. She was 5 years old. The night before, she could hardly sleep. She woke up again and again, whispering to her mother, "Mom, what if nobody likes me?" Eliza smiled gently and brushed a hand through Emily's hair. "Don't try to make everyone like you," she said softly. "Just be kind. The rest will happen by itself." Emily thought about those words for a long time before finally falling asleep. The next morning smelled of fresh bread and wet grass. Birds were singing outside the window, and the sun painted golden light across the little kitchen. Eliza carefully braided Emily's hair into 2 pigtails. Then she tied the same blue ribbons that had become Emily's favorite. Emily put on her little coat and picked up her small leather school bag. She held it tightly with both hands. As they walked toward the school, she moved more slowly than usual. Not because she was afraid, because she wanted to remember every step, every tree, every bird, every feeling. She knew this day would never come again. Outside the school, dozens of children were waiting. Some were laughing, some were crying. Some held their mother's hands so tightly they didn't want to let go. Emily quietly reached for Eliza's hand. "Will you wait for me?" "Of course," Eliza smiled. "I'll be right here when school is over." Emily took a deep breath. Then she walked through the school doors. Her teacher's name was Anna. She welcomed every child with a warm smile. "Today," she said, "we're going to get to know each other. Everyone will tell us their name and one little thing about themselves." One by one, the children stood up. "My name is Peter. I love drawing. My name is Sarah. I can swim. My family has 4 chickens." The classroom filled with smiles and laughter. Then it was Emily's turn. She stood quietly. For just a moment, she felt nervous. Then she smiled. "My name is Emily. I like listening to people." Several children laughed. "What does that mean?" one boy asked. Emily shrugged. "Sometimes people don't need someone to talk. They just need someone to listen." The room became quiet. Even Miss Anna looked at Emily with surprise. Those words sounded much older than a 5-year-old. After the first lesson, the children went outside to play. Miss Anna counted everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. She frowned. She counted again. One little boy was missing. His name was Lucas. He was the youngest child in the class. At first, nobody was worried. They thought he had gone to the bathroom. Then they searched the classrooms, the playground, the storage shed, but Lucas was nowhere. Within minutes, the principal was searching the school grounds. Teachers looked near the road. Parents joined the search. When Eliza saw the worried faces, her heart tightened. She remembered the day she had almost lost Emily at the village fair. That same fear returned. Everyone began calling Lucas's name. The whole village seemed to stop. But while the adults shouted and hurried in every direction, Emily stood quietly, watching, listening, thinking. Then she asked one simple question. "Does Lucas like birds?" Miss Anna looked surprised. "Yes, he loves them. He watches them every chance he gets." Emily slowly looked up at the sky. A group of swallows circled above the school. Again and again. She followed them with her eyes. Then she turned toward the old church bell tower nearby. She pointed. "He's there." The adults looked at one another. "How do you know?" Miss Anna asked. Emily answered calmly, "The birds keep flying to the same place. If nobody were there, they wouldn't keep circling." Nobody knew what to say, but they ran toward the bell tower anyway. A firefighter climbed the narrow wooden stairs. A few moments later, everyone heard a small voice crying. It was Lucas. He was sitting high on the wooden platform. Beside him was a tiny baby bird that had fallen from its nest. Lucas had climbed up to save it, but then he became too frightened to climb back down. The firefighter carefully carried him to safety. As soon as Lucas reached the ground, his mother hugged him tightly and began to cry with relief. The little bird was gently placed back into its nest. Everything became quiet again. Miss Anna turned to Emily. "How did you know?" Emily smiled. "Sometimes you shouldn't look for the person. Sometimes you should look for what they love most." Miss Anna never forgot those words, neither did anyone else. After school, a boy named Daniel walked over to Emily. He looked a little shy. "Thank you," he said. "If you hadn't guessed, Lucas might have stayed up there until evening." He looked down at his shoes, then asked quietly, "Can I sit next to you tomorrow?" Emily smiled. "Of course." And just like that, she made her first school friend. That evening, Eliza tucked Emily into bed. "So," she asked, "how was your first day?" Emily thought carefully before answering. "I thought school was a place where you learned to read." She smiled. "But today I learned something else." "What was that?" "School is also a place where people learn to notice each other." Eliza gently hugged her daughter. Outside, the sun slowly disappeared behind the hills. The evening sky turned soft shades of gold and pink. For just a moment, Eliza looked toward the quiet horizon, and she couldn't help thinking, Marcus would have been so proud of his little girl. Sometimes you can only find someone. Sometimes you can only truly find a person when you first understand what really matters to them.